Good morning, friends and fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, and this is the morning market preparation video for August 21st, 2018. So yesterday, we had a nice little bullish move here, particularly in the Dow. The Dow pushing higher here yesterday and breaking through and just barely kind of holding on to that high over here in March. We popped through that, we held on to it. We struggled a little bit, but we did hold on to it. Also, what's bullish is we've had this follow through here that has pushed us above this downtrend line here in the Dow. So we're looking pretty good as far as that goes. We're hanging in there okay. And that is a nice sign. Now this morning, futures are actually pushing higher again. We're looking at a little gap up this morning here in the Dow. But there is a few things to be concerned about as we continue to just kind of climb this wall of worry. Let's take a look at the SPY. SPY moving up, just barely, just grinding, struggling, trying to move on up here toward that resistance. There's seems to be a tremendous amount of respect for this resistance up here, and we're having to watch that very closely as we push and push and push to move up toward that resistance level. So we have to be a little bit cautious as we push that level. If the bulls happen to run out of energy here, that would be a bad thing for the market. And keep in mind, there's things on the market's mind more than just the new record high. We have the FOMC minutes tomorrow. Then the Jackson Hole Symposium starts on Thursday. So there's lots of news that's going to be generated here over the next few days that has the market maybe just a little bit tentative. We also are right here in the in the middle of August, where lots and lots of traders take vacation, and so I want to point this out. I'm not a big user of volume, but I do notice when the volume appears to be a little anemic as we're trying to push higher. That is sometimes a clue when we have just light volume pushing to the upside that we may be running out of gas. So watch that carefully as we approach that level. Now, IWM is also grinding back up, and I've changed a couple lines on here. You might notice this is a nice little wedge pattern that's forming here on IWM. Now, wedge patterns can be kind of a tricky thing, and this is, by the way, all-time highs. If they break out of this level up here, can be kind of a tricky thing because we know they can continue to wander in that range. So IWM is trying to push higher, but here again just seems to be slowly and tentatively climbing that wall of worry. And also notice the 3 days rally here. We're doing it on shrinking volume. So no reason for panic by any means, but certainly a reason to have a little bit of caution and exercise just a little bit of trade management as we approach these resistance levels. As we approach these resistance levels, think about taking some profits and be careful not to load up on too many trades, adding a whole bunch of risk as we approach that resistance. A common problem that used to plague me, I would fail to recognize the position of the market, the overall market, and I would load up right before the market would take that shift lower. And I'm not saying that's going to happen here, and I'm certainly not predicting that to occur, but I want everyone to recognize that we are pushing that resistance level, and we're doing it on lighter and lighter volume. So watch that closely. Now, the reason I saved the Qs here for the last is this is where I have my biggest concern. Yesterday, the Qs just really chose not to participate. And although we are clinging to this new little trend here, we are below resistance levels here. And we have a double top high potential failure pattern here. So I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not overly concerned about it, but I'm going to be really watchful of the cues here. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say the cues have the most vulnerability to a bear attack at the moment. So watch that closely. Now this morning we're getting a slight gap up, but you can see with the Dow gapping up a full 50, 60 points this morning, the cues are only showing just a recovery of yesterday's move, really not getting all that involved, at least at this point. Now, there's no reason to believe that this is just going to fall off this cliff. I'm only pointing out that there is a reason for caution here, and the cues might be a place to kind of focus on and watch just in case a failure does come into play. It easily could pull the rest of the market lower if the cues start to break down. Let's take a look at the VIX. Looking at the VIX, you can see we've pulled back nicely here after last week's fear that spiked up. Pulled back nicely, just resting, coming right back down here toward this support level. So we're seeing really very little fear in the market. That is, of course, a good thing. We want to see that fear continue to remain very, very light as we push toward this resistance. And then there's T2122, that 4-week new high, new low ratio. If we take a look at T2122, we are up here in that danger zone, that place where we have to be watchful of that potential reversal. And you can see no matter how long you take this back, this is very consistent where we either fail, where we can fail in between these two levels. So we're pushing up here. That doesn't mean that we have to fail right now. We certainly have more room to push to the upside up here. But there is reason for a little bit of caution if you look at this indicator that we're reaching that point where we need, what we need is an explosive move of some kind, something to really garner some energy in the market, to really push us through those breakout levels and inspire those bulls. And right now, we haven't had that, and so we have to watch this really closely for that potential as we push and grind up that wall of worry toward resistance. This would be a place to stay focused on, that there is reason for caution. Let's go take a look at the economic calendar. Economic calendar is probably the lightest I've seen in a long time. We have the red book this morning at 8:55, and we have a 4-week bond auction, a bill auction, I should say, at 11:30. And that concludes the entire economic calendar for today. But keep in mind, FOMC tomorrow. And then again, the Jackson Hole Symposium starting on Thursday. So expect lots and lots of news surrounding that, with lots of, big talking heads making comments about the overall market. Let's, on the earnings calendar, we had about 32 companies reporting earnings this morning. And, a big push in retail right now in those earnings, like Kohl's reporting this morning, TJX reporting this morning. Looks like TJX has reported bullishly and is moving higher. So quite a few of those type reports. I saw Toll Brothers reported this morning with a really good report, gapping the stock higher. So kind of keep an eye on those earnings reports, but as we move toward these resistance levels, we need that inspiration for those bulls to push harder and harder and harder. So any good bullish report could help us maybe push out and pop out above here. Again, gap ups on as we approach resistance should be watched for the potential of a whipsaw, and that's where the market can gap up. We pop up here in the morning and then sell it off. during the day. So anytime we approach a market high with a gap up, I'm always cautious and watching for the potential of that whipsaw pattern where we get that full reversal. Watch, and be a little bit careful. I'm being really cautious. As a matter of fact, I have been a net seller of positions as we approach this resistance. And although I am carrying some long positions, right now I'm being really careful not to load up on too many long positions in the event that this could fail. I certainly don't want to see that happen, and I am certainly not predicting that that will occur. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen. All I can do is look at the clues in the chart and try to discern where my best risk is and where my edge lies in the market. So if you find these videos helpful, please do me a favor. Click on that subscribe button on YouTube, the follow me button on Facebook, click those thumbs up buttons and drop a comment. I really do appreciate those. Also, always feel free to share this video with any friends and family. I never intend to make money from these videos, so please feel free to share them. If there is anything I want to wish for everyone, more than anything else, is I wish you great success. I wish you wise trading and a profitable day. So with that, everyone, I want to check out here for the day. We'll be right back bright and early tomorrow morning. Everyone, take care, be safe, have a great day. We'll talk to you all very soon. Take care of yourselves.